All right, as we continue, joining us now with reaction to tonight's opening monologue, Fox News contributor, investigative reporter Sara, Fox News legal analyst Gregg Jarrett, former deputy assistant to the president, Fox News national security strategist Sebastian Gorka. All right, Gregg, I'll just let you respond to everything today. And the only thing I'm going to say is the only thing shocking to me is that anybody is shocked because we have been telling everybody about Russia's work, influence, dirty deeds in this country now for a long time, and the rest of the media has been literally ignoring the biggest story in their life if they could open their eyes.
You know, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody who has read the DNI report that came out a year ago in January, in which they detail over the course of decades the Russians and before them the Soviets' efforts to sow discord and disruption and chaos in democracies, especially America. Why? They're an authoritarian government. They hate democracies. But you could hear the collective groan today across the nation among Democrats and the liberal media. They were so disappointed that when Rosenstein stepped to the podium, he said not a word about Trump-Russian collusion. You know, the FBI has been at it for a year and a half. They found not a shred of it. Mueller's been at it since last May and apparently hasn't found any evidence of it. But don't be surprised by what happened today. This doesn't mean that Mueller is shifting away from Trump. No. His eyes are squarely on Donald Trump. If they can't find evidence of collusion, Mueller will likely try to pursue a case of obstruction, which
right, but
doesn't
listen to what Trey
apply.
Gowdy said. Let's see the Comey memos. He said Exhibit A for the defense. Yeah. Exculpatory. Release them.
I'm sure it's absolutely exculpatory because at the time Comey was writing them, he didn't envision being fired. He's an arrogant guy, and it never occurred to him that he would be, although he certainly deserved to be.
All right, Sara, at the end of the day, the Russians actually campaigned for and against Donald Trump in this whole thing. That's what an irony. They wanted to sow discord, just like I guess they were able to manipulate America and the Obama administration to get 20% of our uranium, which everyone else ignores.
Well, this is what they do. This is the Russians' modus operandi, and anybody who works in intelligence understands this. I think that this will go beyond. Look, this 16-count indictment revealed that they were doing this back in 2014 as far as our election system. But I think what we're going to discover is that the dossier was also part of their disinformation campaign, and that the Russians worked diligently to pass disinformation to Christopher Steele. They were utilizing Fusion GPS. And guess what, Sean? The media, journalists and mainstream media, American media, actually fed into this campaign, and they were unwittingly being used by the Russians over the past year. And that's really a shame, because that's something they should have been investigating from the beginning. This is how Russians do this. I mean, they were very successful at it.
TikTok, there's a lot more to come about how they were manipulated, how they were engaged with the Clinton campaign. Dr. Gorka, I think my favorite is the day they had a pro-Trump rally that they organized and an anti-Trump rally in the same city on the same day. That speaks volumes.
That's what they do. That's what they do. They disrupt other people's democracies. But let's be clear what happened today, Sean. Today, 13 Russians were indicted and 3 legal entities. Nothing's going to happen with that because they're Russians and they're over there and we can't extradite them. I've got a tip for Robert Mueller. Some other people messed with our elections, and they're right here in America. There's Hillary Clinton. There's the DNC. There's Fusion GPS. And there's Hillary's lawyer. They messed with the election. They stole the candidacy from Bernie Sanders, and then they gave false information to a FISA court. So, Mr. Mueller, if you want to actually put some people in prison, start with the Americans that perverted our election here in America.
Well said.
And not only that, the damage to the Bureau and to the Bureau's reputation, that people within the FBI, now we know, we've seen clear evidence of that, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Andrew McCabe, others, James Baker, the general counsel, that there were people clearly within the FBI who had an agenda, and that was not their role. This is, you know, not the Politburo. This is not Russia. And that appears to be how it was being run.
Well, wait a minute. You mean McCabe and Comey and Strzok and Loretta Lynch and Page, just to name a few? You mean they had an agenda? You mean they exonerated Hillary? I can't wait for the IG report to come out. And if the IG does his job, then that means the fix was in, the process was screwed, and it was all set up and rigged from day one, Greg.
And we don't have to extradite them.
I've talked to 4 former FBI officials who are in close contact with current FBI agents, and the rank and file, are angry. They're not angry at the media for exposing this. They're angry at James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Rubicki, Strzok, Page, the whole gang, high officials in management at the FBI and some in the Department of Justice who have shredded the good name and hard work of the people who do the real job and carry a badge and gun and try to protect our lives.
We're getting to the truth in part without revealing sources and methods, to use a phrase of late, because of some honest FBI guys, some honest people in the intelligence community. Sara, I know who our sources are in some cases. Dr. Gorka, as you look at this and we see, where do you think this Mueller is going? I see a guy that is blind in his ambition, that has hired a team of DNC, Obama, Hillary sycophants, anti-Trump activists that are like on a mission to destroy this president.
Don't forget one thing. Robert Mueller, escorted by his bosom buddy, Rod Rosenstein, went to the White House to interview for the job of director of the FBI with President Donald Trump. He failed. He didn't get the interview. The next day, Rod makes him special prosecutor, special counsel. Don't you think he's got an agenda? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
This is revenge for Robert Mueller, but we can't let him pervert justice like everybody else on the 7th floor.
All right. What about Andrew Weissman? Not only did he get beaten by the Supreme Court, overturned 9-0, and the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. This piece you wrote today, Sara, this guy twice has withheld evidence in cases, and this is what the New York Times describes as Mueller's pit bull?
Well,
I guess, why is he even there?
Well, because he and Mueller have been longtime acquaintances, very close friends. They worked together. He was in the general counsel at the FBI under Robert Mueller. He has a lot of faith in him, I guess, that he can take a case and run with it no matter what. You'd have to ask, Special Counsel Mueller, why? Because if you look back to 1997, and he was directly reprimanded, and then his name was withdrawn from that reprimand, I mean, he was going to be reported to the bar. Not only did he not inform the jury that, the person that he had up there, the witness, was an informant for the FBI, he also had an FBI agent that was apparently dirty and who was indicted later for murders.
I want Robert Mueller to explain to America how a guy that withheld evidence in 2 cases and lost 9-0 in the Supreme Court, sent people to jail for a year, overturned by the Fifth Circuit, why was he ever appointed to be his pit bull? I want that answer tonight.
Well, it's a great question, and Robert Mueller will never answer it because the answer wouldn't be good. He wanted a pit bull, a guy who would weaponize the law.
Oh, he got it.
And who would bend and twist the rules. You could fill volumes with the complaints that have been filed against Andrew Weissman and the cases that have been overturned and his repeated attempts successfully to conceal evidence and intimidate witnesses.
I could keep you guys on all night. Great job, everybody. We'll absorb all of this. We'll reconvene on Monday. You guys have a great weekend.